And in the upper right, in the red, he is newly returned from the military, the smiling assassin. You know him, you love him. Give it up for Hero. And in the bottom left, in the blue, he is one of the old school greats, formerly of Axiom, formerly of Slayers, now for Team GP. He is RYUNG. And man, I miss Team Acer, I miss Team Axiom. Like, the Axiom Acer team was like my favorite team of all time. All right, their GSTL victory was, man, I miss GSTL too. But their GSTL victory was like one of my favorite early StarCraft moments. Granted, I actually didn't even see it. I was just getting into StarCraft when that happened, but you know, Scarlet was on Acer, so I was a big Acer fan. And then, you know, everything that Axiom did, everything that Total Biscuit did for the scene. Yeah. I'm so glad that RYUNG is still in the scene, still doing things. I mean, we have him casting a little bit. We have him attempting to qualify for the GSL. And it's crazy. After so many years, so many of the players that were good in the beta, so many players that were good, well, maybe not the beta, but by the end of Wings of Liberty, are still looking absolutely, maybe not dominant anymore. Certainly, you know, RYUNG has been surpassed by the Four Horsemen, by Cure, who's arguably maybe the Fifth Horseman, or no, Cure is one of the, whatever. There's an argument to be made of who are members of the Fourth Horseman at any given time, but you know, RYUNG's maybe the 15th best Terran in the world or something. But he's still up there. He is still kicking. He's still looking good. And, you know, he's made it to a qualifying match. Even if it is day 2 last chance. That's a lot better than a lot of people can say. Certainly better than I can say, for example. Certainly better than, say, Cham can say, who moved out to Korea to try to qualify for the GSL and to train in Korea to enter that hyperbolic time chamber. Well, not yet. He's gotten very close. Actually, Cham has had the bad luck of getting knocked out of 3 GSL qualifiers by Zest? Something like that? So Hero is going to open up Stargate in this game. I like that. I actually tend to be a big fan of these Phoenix openings. Assuming this is a Phoenix opening. I mean, I guess it could be Oracle, but ever since the SCV health buff, actually, wait, was that an SCV health buff or was it a depth damage nerf? Whatever it was. Anyway, Oracles take 3 shots to kill off SCV instead of 2, so you can't build 2 Oracles and 1-tap workers as well as you can do against, say, Protoss or Zerg, and I don't know, it just doesn't feel as great. I mean, maybe you get an Oracle, it establishes map control, gives you scouting, gives you detection, whatever, but I don't know, I'm not a big fan of Oracle play in this matchup. I mean, we've seen it work, but feels like straight to Phoenix is more often than not the answer here. As we have a bunch of Marines here sitting out on the map, and actually, what is RYUNG doing in this game number 1? Okay, so it will be a 1-1-1 is going to be the option that RYUNG is opting to go for, which means maybe a little bit of aggression, maybe a little bit of shenanigans. Widowmine drops, maybe. How many Widowmines do we have on the field? I think I heard 1 burrow. So yeah, the 1 burrowing, more on the way. Where is that? Okay, we have 1 under this, and where is that other one? Actually, it's doing a really good job of camouflage. There, oh, in the middle line. Okay. With the two Widowmines down, this is going to be a Widowmine drop coming on up here from RYUNG, and realistically, that means it shouldn't get a lot here. Hero content to get on up into 4 or 5 Phoenix before he even ever moves that on the map with him, and that is going to coincide roughly with when this drop comes in. So that means really this shouldn't get much done. We should have the lifts, we should have the medevacs get targeted on down, and well, RYUNG may be forced to try again another time. But actually, the Phoenix are out on the map here, and they're not going to intercept this drop, just barely they're not. And that means that, hey, you know what, RYUNG? He's going to be able to get out on the map with this. He's going to be able to find some value. Now, 1 Phoenix will be out. Will be out of this starport by the time this drop comes on in. And Hero, though, is he paying attention? Yeah, he's got the pull. At the very least, he does have the pull. And 1 worker does go down there. We're going to see 1 into the main base. Maybe Phoenix going to start to knock that one down. This one's just going to get lifted. Yeah, there we go. Second one dies. The medevac dies as well. And that's going to be that, folks. The Widowmine drop got 1 probe. Which, honestly, given the fact that Phoenix are on the field, it's better than 0. Better than kind of what I expected to see. Behind this RYUNG, he is gearing up for what looks to be some semblance of a +1 stim. Combat shield timing stim is underway. We got a Raven as well. And that's kind of it. I don't know. I feel like Raven pushes are not nearly as good as they once were. I mean, yeah, you can disable Colossus. That's rather nice. But Hero is not going for Colossus play. At least not at first. He's got Charge underway behind this. He's going for Phoenix Charge Lot, that style that has been looking so good for Zest as of late. And a style that gives us some really fantastic... What just died? Oh, he got the Raven. Well, so much for the Raven push then, as the Raven was chased away. Unfortunately, not really paying attention. I guess RYUNG was trying to hide it. But the Phoenix dive on it, and they find that. They say, hey, you know what? You didn't want this, did you? No, you don't want the Raven. That's not fun. There's a SCV, more SCVs will go on down here. There we go. +1 underway, stim underway. We should see combat shields get started rather soon, but this only... Yeah, okay, there we go. Left, there we go. Combat shields now getting started. RYUNG just getting ready for a bigger push, but he does have a command center underway at 6 minutes. It's not the earliest, right? It's not a 250 third base, not a 3-4 minute third base, but it's not the slowest either. We see a lot of these +1 stim combat shield pushes happening off of a 730 third base getting dropped down on location. So RYUNG, he may, that's actually considering the fact that he's got his third base underway now, this almost is a tell that he may not go for any sort of push, just kind of develop his tech to make sure that he's going to be happy on the assumption that maybe Hero pushes out on the map. Now, interestingly enough, Hero does have 4 gas. So yeah, okay, he's going to go on into Storm behind that. The way it works really is if you have 3 gas, right, that is going to be, oh, Widow Mines. Nice reaction there from Hero, getting out just in time. I mean, it feels like the staging time, the missile lock-on time for Widow Mines is simultaneously super fast. Like, oh god, I can't react to that. And also rather slow. Because I really thought those were going to connect. But yeah, Hero, he was fast enough, he was in time. Now Charge is done, +1 is done. We're going to have a Templar Archives get dropped. Well, it's just about done here. So we should maybe see some Archons underway. And Hero is going up to 6 gas. So I would expect to see a Robo Bay rather soon as he does look to develop his tech even further. Okay, Zealots are going to warp on into the main base. How many SCVs did they get before they died? 4 SCVs, I guess. I think it was like, yeah, 3 or 4 SCVs. Not at the end of the world. Nice job there from the missile turret, avoiding the Widow Mines, but still suffering a little bit here. And the Phoenix, well, one of them will finally go down, but Hero has found value, right? He mitigated the drop. He is knocking off Widow Mines and really getting the Raven. That's the big deal. Now, the interesting thing here is Hero, he's gone for a mid-game focus style, right? He's going to have Archons and Charge and Immortals and, 1-1. He's not even getting +2 attack. He's getting +1 armor. But he's not really committing to this. All right? I mean, part of it is that RYUNG is playing a rather defensive style here. He's got a lot of Widow Mines. But I feel like with any style that is just so Charge Lot focused, you do need to get something done with it. Like, it is designed to swallow up a Terran player as they... Oh, Widow Mines. Yep, there we go. Now they're going to go on off. Three Phoenix do remain, and they're all very, very low. This build that Hero's opted to go for, right? I feel like... Well, I know it's designed to deal with these +1 stim combat shield pushes, right? These big pushes that Terrans go for with siege tanks and bio and +1 and all this fun stuff. And if the Terran's just going to kind of sit back and defend with tanks and Widow Mines and whatever... Eventually, this army ages out. Eventually, RYUNG is going to get into better upgrades. Eventually, he's going to have ghosts and enhanced shockwaves and 2-2 and like 170 supply. And this army that Hero has made is not going to be nearly as impactful. Granted, he is transitioning out of it. He is on 6 gas. He's going to get this gas on the 4th, eventually going up to 8 gas. And he's got Colossus on the way. He's got 2 Colossus at a time. Extended Thermal Lance are going to be the name of the game here. And notice he never committed to Storm. Storm is great in certain circumstances, but as the game goes later, as ghosts start to hit the field, it really doesn't do all that much for you. It's rare that a pro Terran player lets these ghosts really go out with any significant impact. So he's not even going for it. He says, yeah, I want some Archons for some beef, but it's going to be Colossus. It's going to be Disruptors eventually. Those are going to be my preferred methods of splashing this game. And, I can't say I blame him. No Pillow Pants. This was what was the team? This was not Liquid Hero. This was CJ Entis Hero. This was the man who got second place in the winner-take-all IEM Katowice, whereas SOS won $100,000. This is the player, one of the greatest Protoss players to ever touch this game, the Smiling Assassin, back from military. Look at this hero, not going 3 Colossus, no, it's going to be 4 Colossus underway, and RYUNG has nothing deals with these Colossus, except for Thermal Lance is done, which means they do outrange Marauders now. And Hero's just kind of found the inside track. He's like, yeah, I got 4 Colossus here, and yes, I am opening myself up to a bit of a flank. Just a little bit of the tanks are going to start to get targeted on down here. Nice force fields. Yes, they're going to be EMP on top of this, all of these Colossus, but if he can't hit them, well, it does not matter here. The tank's going down on the left-hand side, the army going down on the left-hand side. RYUNG suddenly down 40 supply, and these 4 Colossus, they have +1. Well, they're reigning supreme. So it's going to be SCVs pulled from everywhere. Disruptor shot coming on in from behind it. Will get targeted on down. But the Phoenix are going to lift all of these Marauder Stalkers, just looking to buffer what they can. Colossus, one of them will go on down as the medevac is not really microing it, but it does not matter. GG Hero, he is now 1 game away. In the bottom right, in the red, he is Dragon Phoenix Gaming up 1-0. Hero. And in the upper left, in the blue, in this game number 2, he is Team GP, RYUNG. I mean, I'm not sure that Polt ever tried to come back. He just kind of faded away, and then he realized he's like, look, I hate the meta. I think he said it was, I can't remember whether it was the map pool or a balance patch, but he's like, look, I'm not going to play this game again. I'm not going to play this game professionally unless we get a balance patch or either we get better maps. And then he finds much success in teamfight tactics and is like the #1 player in the world. And it was kind of funny. You watch these teamfight tactics. Well, I didn't watch them, but I heard about them. These teamfight tactics tournaments where the commentators are just impressed with Polt's EPM for like, I don't really know, like moving stuff around. But anyway, on top of that, now he's the coach of SKT, I believe. He's the coach of a Korean league team. So I don't know what being good at StarCraft teaches you about the strategy and tactics and deep game knowledge of league, but actually I think he was more like the general manager, the guy that I think he's more like the coach of a StarCraft or the manager of any esports team, was responsible for the everyday runnings of the org and making sure the players are happy and all that fun stuff. Except with a lot more money than the Korean team houses ever really had, because the league is just a league of its own in terms of how much money it has. Right, so once again, RYUNG going for a 1-1-1, and Hero in this game, he's not going Stargate, right? He's got a Templar Archives underway. This probably is for Blink. Gonna have to see how much gas he saves on up. This could be for a Dark Shrine, but I don't think so. Hero, by the way, one of the best players in the world with Blink Micro at his height. I mean, what was the game against J-Dog? I think it was a base trade, and it was a bunch of mutas versus a bunch of Blink Stalkers. No, it was Ling Hydra against Blink Stalkers, I think, something like that. No, I don't remember what it was. Anyway, base trade came down to a bunch of Blink Stalkers versus a bunch of Zerg, and the Zerg had Hero massively outsupplied. But on the Blink, it was on King Sejong Station, one of the best games of all time. But I forget, like I have this idea of what happened, but I can't remember the units that they were against each other. Anyway, Hero, his Blink Stalkers are the stuff of legends, and we're gonna have to see how well he's gonna be able to make use of that now that he is back. Now, it should be noted that Hero, as much as he's sitting here, he's 1 game away from GSL. Or from Code A, excuse me. He has not been looking the best in the different EPT Cups that he's been playing. And I mean, he's getting better week by week, but he's not making it into the money just yet. He's not hitting top 8 in any region. And that certainly gives me room for pause. I mean, I'm excited for Hero coming back. I want to see Hero at the top of his form. I want to see him driving the Protoss build idea, the Protoss meta forward once again, like we used to see. But again, he's just not there quite yet. We got a Hellion drop coming on in from RYUNG in this game number 2. And you know what? Blink Stalkers against the Hellion drop. Well, Blink's not going to be done by the time the drop comes on in. They're not all that great. How many gateways do we have? It's only 2 gate as well. So it's a defensive 2-gate expand build coming on in from Hero. And well, the Hellions, they are here. They are as yet unscattered, but now they're going to look to dive on in. Hero, is he paying attention? Yeah, he's going to pull right on into it. How many workers go down? That's the big question here. A bunch is actually the answer. Oh, line them on up. Oh, that's going to be so much more here. This is game-ending damage. But let's see. Are we over under 8? Yeah, we're at 16. 16 workers have died. That is, yeah. I hate to call a game over at 4 minutes in, but 8 workers is the number that the Terran player is looking for off of a proxy medevac build. When you double that, well, the Protoss player has to go all in. And we do, of course, see that happening here. Blink Stalkers running across the map. Warp Prism as well, but it is it's 3-gate. Excuse me. So, you know what? With the 3-gate Warp Prism, something can happen. How many tanks do we have on the field right now? Only one. Second one is just over halfway done, and we got a bunker underway, but there's not a big army for RYUNG right now. He doesn't have a lot of Marines, so he is having to bunker down just a little bit. Make sure that he does survive. With 2 tanks now out, well, that gives him an opportunity. As the Stalkers, they're just going to look to play ring around the rosy here. Maybe not kill off the army, but kill off the economy. Try to find some sort of equalizing damage for what RYUNG did earlier on. And Stalkers, they continue to warp on in. Observer is dead, but I mean, there's a warp prism here, so that doesn't really matter. It doesn't prevent the Stalkers from finding their way on into the high ground, and that's going to get scanned down now, by the way. But now, I mean, Hero, he's preventing mining pretty much in this entire main base, and we don't think about it, but Romanticide is a truly massive main base, especially with the SimCity that RYUNG has gone for with his everything on the left-hand side. It gives the Stalkers so much more maneuverability as they're trying to find their way around the map. And they're going to find a couple tanks on siege. This one bunker is going to get targeted on down. Tanks are now starting to siege it up. The medevac, I'm sorry, the bunker doesn't go down, but the medevac is now dead. It means, again, damage on these Marines is going to start to stick a little bit more. Now, Stim is about halfway done. And there are 3 tanks on the map. We're starting to see some Marauders as well. That does start to mean that this army here from RYUNG, it's going to be a little bit more powerful. It's going to be a lot harder for Hero to find the damage he's looking for. But I mean, Hero's doing something. He's not just sitting here and okay, we don't have game art. Not just sitting here kind of accepting his fate. He is reducing mining from the Terran main base quite significantly. And behind that, of course, I mean, he's building 3 workers well, right now 2 workers at a time, but he has the capacity to build 3 workers at a time. He's got charge underway, 5 more gateways. And if he's able to just keep the army of RYUNG low enough, while still kind of trying to convince him to go for an attack, maybe he can just surround him and envelop him with just significant amounts of zealots. That's what that build is for. And then equalize the game that way. Oh, Pillow Pants, you mean Pro League? Oh yeah, Pro League was something else. I love Pro League. I love GSTL. I really am sad both of them are dead. Like, Pro League format is super cool. Just having a week to prepare for one specific game. But also, I love all kills. Just the hype that an all kill gets of, you know, how many games will this player be able to play? Do we need to call our sniper in? Just the different strategy, the momentum, the ceremonies, all that fun stuff. Oh man, GSTL. Even if I didn't watch a lot of it because it was behind the GOM TV paywall at a time when I had no way to pay for that. You know, I was, 14? I didn't have access to a credit card. That was the best. And a very satisfying. But we do have team leagues on occasion now. I mean, we had the World Team League this year. And that actually had a really cool best of 2, best of 7 type format where it was, yeah. Oh no, the Warp Prism was going to get targeted on down here. Nice catch from RYUNG. Now, because the Warp Prism did die, our hero is aware that there's potentially a drop on the right-hand side of the map, so he is positioning his Stalkers for that. But of course, he's not going to be able to do that for too much longer because the army of RYUNG here on the left-hand side is powerful. That being said, I mean, there's no tech to this army of Hero. He's got 1 Immortal somewhere, and he's just got a lot of Zealots that unfortunately will be scanned. Here, RYUNG is like, okay, I know what's happening here. You don't have much of an army. I mean, it's good now. Got 138 supply. It's not going to be good when we're at 170. It's not going to be good when I have 1-1. So RYUNG, he's just going to go back home. He's going to sit here on his third base. He's going to plot his takeover of the world, his maniacal plan. And that is going to be that. I'm not really sure why this army moved back on the map once again. I guess I got an observer. Yeah. Wow, RYUNG just killed 5 observers in this game. That is... Yeah, we see a lot of Terran players that are good at sniping observers, and they get 1 or 2, but there may be 3 or 4, but 5 observers have died in this game. RYUNG has done a fantastic job of just removing so much vision on the map from Hero. And now Hero is going to look to maraud on the map here. His 1+1 is done at some point. But I mean, RYUNG is just going to sit here, turtle up. He's got a lot of wind mines. He's building missile turrets. His tanks are well spread. He's got bunkers. I mean, this is just not this is just a rather impregnable position for RYUNG. Hero's not really going to break him. Now, maybe with some flanking storm drops or something, maybe that's going to be what happens here. I gotta say, the fact that Hero is not dead after losing 16 workers to Hellion drops is a testament to Hero's ability, but it's also kind of a testament to the game that RYUNG has opted to play. He's like, look, I want to get the most certain victory I can. If that means that I gotta go and I gotta take the game another 7 minutes, so be it. Anyway, so +2, 2-1, just about done here for, well, 1-1 just about done here for RYUNG. He's got +2 attack underway. Enhanced shockwaves underway, and that's when I think that's probably when he's going to feel really confident. He's going to be maxed out. He's going to have maybe +2 attack, but certainly he's going to have 1-1. He's going to have enhanced shockwaves, a decent amount of widow mines, and that does mean that this army that Hero has put together, maybe with storms. Where are our High Templar? Do we have any? They're okay at the natural. With storms, right? With a bunch of zealots that have +1 or 2-1 eventually. These EMPs are just going to be powerful indeed, and it's kind of funny, right? This 3 ghost idea. This is something we used to see in Heart of the Storm all the time. Nice storms, actually. Now the Archon's going on in. It means the EMPs to stop things are not going to be nearly as powerful. Nice widow mines. But there was this idea in Heart of the Storm, right? And granted, it was with I'm going to get my third base and I'm immediately going to pull the boys. But there was this idea where you go and you get your 3 ghosts, you pull the SCVs, you have a triple mule behind that so you can sustain some sort of rally, and you go from there. Now, RYUNG has kind of adopted that idea in this series where he's going for the triple ghost. He's not going on to much higher than that for now, unless he does add 3 more. But again, you got enough here. You want those triple EMPs that generally allows you to blanket the entire army. It generally allows for you to knock down the energy from any High Templar that are active on the map. And eventually, right, RYUNG will get on into 4 bases. He will have the gas and the minerals he needs to just get a much higher ghost count. These ghosts are, well, depending on the army that you're fighting, are fantastic. I mean, against the mass zealot army like this, ghosts are incredible. They are tanky. They're sitting at about 100 HP, excuse me. But they don't have any tags, right? They're not armored. They're not light. So they last longer than that. And they do massive damage to zealots, any sort of light unit. So that's going to be really nice here. As RYUNG, he's got his multi-prong going on in. It's a base trade, folks. And you know what they say about base trading a Terran? You don't. And actually, the tank's shelling away here, making life even more difficult. Widow mines as well. Hero's army has taken some significant shots here as he tries to find his way on in. Meanwhile, the 4th base, you got to kill it there, RYUNG. You can't just leave it there to not die. You got to kill it off. But okay, now we're going to see Stim on in. 1 Colossus goes down. 2nd Colossus goes down. We should see Extended Thermal Lance just get targeted on down and get canceled here rather quickly. That's going to be easy. The 3rd base has been penetrated. The 3rd base is broken. RYUNG sitting up 50 supply. And I like this. He's getting the things that you can legitimately win the game with, right? You get a bunch of Liberators. They pop on out. Actually, I believe those were canceled anyways. Not enough time to make that happen. But you get a bunch of Liberators. If the Stalker count is low enough, you just can never fight the army. Stuff like that. But now what are we at here? The natural is getting targeted on now. I really, really wish this base was dead. It was on. It was one more volley, right? The RYUNG should have killed that, but anyways, he was not able to do so. As the 3rd natural is going to go down, the main base taking a lot of damage here, but RYUNG is not really handling this as well as I would like. For a second, he was at like 120 army supply, and Hero had 80. It was a pretty big supply lead for the Terran player, but he's not really outstripping the pace of destruction that Hero has been able to do to him. And Hero does have this base. I mean, it has been scouted. Right, all of the bases that Hero has on the map here, RYUNG knows where they are. So that is, well, he doesn't know about this base necessarily, but he knows about the rest of them. So that is something. And now, yeah, okay. RYUNG is doing a much better job here of actively moving it on the map and knocking things down and killing things off. He's, yeah, now that's going to make life a little bit more easy for him. Now we are gonna have to see. Oh, I love this. It's a planetary fortress. Oh, what a cool move. I mean, the Stalkers are gonna kill it before it gets much done. We don't have the repairs, but that's such a cool move, right? You're like, yeah, I got an extra command center. I don't necessarily need the orbital. Let's just build a planetary. That's pretty cool. But now we do have RYUNG's army moving on in. There is a 1 upgrade lead. It looks like a hero just blinked on top of something and killed it off. EMP is gonna blanket the entire army though, and we don't have storms. Right, no, there is 1 High Templar. I'm not really sure where it is in this army. RYUNG has not rebuilt his base. He's being revealed. Okay, the High Templar does go down. This is we have 1 SCV. So I'm not going to say this is the last army RYUNG's ever going to have, but it's causing a bit of a problem. The Widowmine shots may make or break things here. Probes are going to get pulled on into the shield battery overcharge. Is fighting strong, but it's just a bunch of blink stalkers and immortal. Shield battery overcharge is dead. The immortals are dying as well here. Hero, he's got some great blink micro, but blink stalkers do not beat 2/2 stimmed bio. That is just a truism that has been true as long as StarCraft has been a thing. This base is going to get broken. Hero is going to lose his last potential base. He's down on 0 probes as well. That's going to do it, folks. GG. RYUNG ties it up in the upper left in the red. He is tied up in this series, taking game number 1, losing game number 2. The Smiling Assassin, Hero. And in the bottom right, in the blue, taking game number 2 in a fantastic base trade. He is for Team GP, the one, the only, RYUNG. And think about how much different that game is if the High Templars are actually able to get their storms off as RYUNG stems on in to try to win. That army was good enough from here if he gets the storms off to win that game. But unfortunately, he did not. Unfortunately, he kind of fought into a bit of an inverse choke, right? He got concaved upon. And those 2 things gave RYUNG his victory. Yeah, it was really good that RYUNG caught here exactly where he did. He blanketed the entire army with the EMBs. High Templars, I think there was 1 remain that had storm, but he got targeted on down before anything could happen. Now we're moving in to our 3rd and final game of this series. Now the probe is gonna die, I think. That's not indicative of how the last game went for Hero. I don't know what is. And you know, when we talk about games, right, we talk about micro, we talk about macro, we talk about resources, we even talk about intangibles, map control, agency. But one thing we should be talking about right now is momentum. Hero looked absolutely dominant in that game number 1. He shut down everything that RYUNG tried to do, and he eventually killed him. Game 2, RYUNG did the opposite. RYUNG was just everywhere. He got the damage. He figured he got the damage early, right, with those Hellion drops. And then, well, he just kind of head back. He's like, yeah, I know what you're trying to do, Hero. I'm not going to let you do it. Now, the fact that Hero was able to bring that game close at all, the fact that he was almost able to win that base trade after losing 16 probes before 5 minutes to a 4 Hellion drop is actually freaking impressive. I mean, yes, RYUNG just kind of hung back and gave Hero the space he needed, but also Hero committed to an army that would fight RYUNG when RYUNG did not fight, right? The army that RYUNG had was more than enough to deal with the army that Hero had by the time that RYUNG was active on the map, but it was a great decision to base trade. Unfortunately, the MPs got the High Templar, and that was that. So now we're gonna have the Marines. They're gonna collapse on in. This is something we've actually seen more and more and more by a bunch of Terran players with, like, yeah, I'm gonna send 3-4 Marines. They're gonna be away from my ramp, so I can maybe trap the Adept that's gonna look to get some scouting done. Not gonna work out in this game though. Hero is in proper position, and that is gonna be that. And I like this. Hero, he's like, look, I won the game, I went Stargate. I won the game, I went Phoenixes. I lost the game, I didn't. And on top of that, the Phoenix play I did would have been fantastic in the game I didn't go for it. It does not surprise me to see Hero here going back to old faithful, going to the Phoenix tech. And RYUNG, well, we got stim, we got combat shields on the way. He's going to hit a rather quick timing. I mean, this is the 3 racks build, right? This is the build that Beyond started doing, and every other Terran player was like, hey, that's pretty good. Although, of course, it's super super binary, right? Like, you either get game-ending damage or you just kind of lose your army. That being said, Beyond is pretty good at realizing when it's a position where he's just going to lose his army, and he says, okay, well, I'm just not going to attack with it. I'm going to hit you with kind of +1 and stim and combat shields and concussion cells and all of that. But RYUNG, he's going to see these Phoenix. He's going to be very happy with his life because, well, the Phoenix do not fight a bunch of Marines all that well, and they're starting to find some damage. I like picking of course, that the newly dropped mule, right? That is 250 minerals right there that RYUNG will not get. But now the Phoenix, they will find this army, and oh, one dead Phoenix. That is already a problem. In a game like this, in a build like this, when you're trying to make sure you have your hold, every single unit is precious. Every single unit is necessary on both sides. From RYUNG as he looks to get aggressive, from Hero as he wants to make sure he does not die. So shield batteries are underway, but Hero, for just a brief time, he was supply blocked. Now, second shield battery is done, but I want to see a reinforcing pylon here. This is a bit of an orthosis pylon. Also, look at this. This is much more committed than I've seen this version of the build before. We got 2 bunkers going down. A couple SCVs were pulled just for good, a couple extra for good measure. And RYUNG, not so much as stimming on in and killing his opponent. He's going for a hard contain, and this is pretty cool. This is not the way I normally see this build happen. But it does mean that if these bunkers get up, I mean, it is going to be damn hard here for Hero to break his way on out. And yes, I mean, there's an Immortal. There will be a second Immortal somewhat soon. That Immortals bust bunkers rather well, but I mean, their SCV is here to repair. And the SCV needs to be on the other side. There we go. SCV will not go on down here. So SCV is on the proper side to start just shelling away at everything. The Cyber Core goes down. The Gateway is going to go down as well. And yeah, we're going to have the Phoenix looking to knock down some rallies. But realistically, for the most part, RYUNG's keeping his rally at home. The whole goal of this is to just contain his opponent. Make it so, hey, look, you don't get a third base. Maybe I can take a good fight. We'll see. He's going to force a stim here. Going to go on in, but shield battery overcharge is a thing. So stim for shield battery overcharge. Hero's going to be rather happy with that one because, again, the damage does stick. And now RYUNG, he's running on home. Tail between his legs. This did not work out for him as well as he wanted, but he did contain Hero on 2 bases for the time being. He did knock down 1 Phoenix, and he did get a Cyber Core. So non-zero damage, but not quite what he was looking for. And hey, look, another Phoenix is going to go down as well. So, yeah, Hero, he had a pretty good hold. He didn't lose too much, but he still lost a couple Phoenix. And it's interesting. Notice when he saw this move out, he said, okay, look, I'm going to stop at 4 Phoenix. Phoenix are not really going to be my relevant tech path of choice. Right? I want to make sure that I have something a little bit more powerful on the ground. Immortals on the way. I really can't sustain this idea of Phoenix charge lot or whatever he wanted to go for. So now we have a Robo Bay underway, Blink as well. It's really interesting to see Phoenix and Blink play on the map at the same time because they really fill the same role. But if you're not going to commit to Phoenix and if you're just going to commit to losing them as Hero's going to lose 1 more, well, suddenly, yeah, getting those Blink Stalkers is going to be rather useful, probably even necessary in this game. Okay, so third base for Hero just about done. Is this Phoenix about... Oh, well, I see that this is the fake Phoenix. But it's funny. If 1 Phoenix is just about as good as 0 Phoenix is, I mean, you lift something, and that's useful for an engagement, maybe. But other than that, it really doesn't get much done, right? Maybe you can knock down some medevacs in the sky. Stalkers playing on top of it. But again, you lift things, they just don't die, right? Unless the Stalkers target them down or something. And that... You isolate, but you don't really get nearly as much done. So even 2 Phoenix. 2 Phoenix can kill off SCVs rather nicely. Now RYUNG, once again, he's moving out on the map. He does have +1 now. He's got stim. He's got combat shields. He's got medevacs. The damage on this army does not stick nearly as tightly as otherwise would have done. And hey, you know what? Phoenix, what Phoenix? We're not talking about Phoenix in this game. Not anymore. And RYUNG, he's just kind of posturing here. Once again, his third base is underway. He's not really committing to any sort of prolonged pressure. Now, Hero is in a much better game position than he was in the previous game. I mean, for many reasons. He did not lose 16 probes to a Hellion drop for 1. That's rather nice. But also, I mean, look, he's sitting here. He's up on workers when he needs to be. He's down on army supply, but that's fine because army value should be rather equivalent. Yeah, there we go. Just about 150 off. Funny that the gas... Well, yeah, no, not even. Hero's army is just a little bit more expensive just because of how expensive in gas it is. And all of these things come together to say, Hero, he is very comfortable. This is a game that he has played before. This is a game he will play again. And we're just going to have to see how he can handle the next step of aggression from RYUNG. As RYUNG looks to be active on the map with two control groups at the same time. We got the drop on the left, the drop on the right. And the goal here is to force Hero to specifically put Colossus in the wrong spot. But a Hero, he doesn't have any interest in that one. We got Stalkers in the main base to ward off any drop there. But it looks like for a second, Hero was very interested in getting active on the map, in moving over into RYUNG's position and trying to find some damage. But I guess that's not going to be the case. It's just aggressive posturing so he can get a couple thermal lance shots off on this army as it comes on up into high ground. There we go. But now we got a bunch of Biostimulon into the natural. One Colossus will go down immediately as it spawns. Poor Colossus will die. Rumble is going to go down as well here. And yeah, we have Forge getting Chroned. Well, that's going to get depowered rather soon. Bio moving on in. These Stalkers cannot take this fight. And now with his Warping of Zealous, that's going to be more than enough. But you know what it does? It opens up room. It opens up a pathway for this fourth base of Hero to go on down as well. We still have the army here, so that's not going to be that big of a deal. This drop in the main base may look to find its way on in once again. Yeah, okay, Immortals are going down. There's no wheat to this army. There's no chaff to this army, only wheat. So the Immortals go down. The Colossus are getting low here. And this slim little amount of bio, the two ghosts and the whatever else you got, is going to knock this base down. So RYUNG, yeah, he didn't get a lot done with that first little bits of pressure. Hero was totally fine there, but now he's starting to find more. Now he is starting to tear Hero apart just a little bit, finding those positions where, honestly, Hero doesn't want to defend. I mean, he has to, and he wants to make sure that he's able to defend it, but if he has his druthers, his army is going to be together in one big clump. He's going to have a bunch of Colossus. He's going to run across the map. He's going to break the third base of RYUNG. But that is not what RYUNG is allowing him to do. By being active on the map here with these two control groups, with these two separate drops, he's making it impossible for Hero to bring his army together. He's making it impossible for Hero to really go on in and take advantage of his upgrade timing. Take advantage of his tech timing, whatever the case may be there. And that's only ever going to be good for RYUNG, who continues to grow, who has his fourth base underway, who is building an army that eventually is going to deal with this Protoss army rather well. How many Colossus do we have on the field right now? We have 2. Okay. 1 in the natural, 1 outside the fourth base. That makes sense. Storm is actually going to be done just in time for this army to move on in. EPs are not going to land, but there they are. 1 Storm lands, but that's going to be just about it. That's probably not enough. And the army on the left-hand side, well, Hero can't really engage into that one without running through a minefield, a literal minefield. And what do we have? We have 2 Storms here. Do we have any ghosts on this side? Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got plenty of ghosts. All right, so now once again, RYUNG, he's going to look to stem on in, knock down this base once again. Storms are going to have to be rather good, but EMPs say, no, you don't get Storms. Not here, not now. I would love to see like a flanking Storm on the high ground. Maybe that would have made something happen. But it's not going to be enough, as of course this marauding army is looking to join his brethren in the bottom left. Will not be successful in that one, but that's fine, because RYUNG is now up 50 supply in this game. He's up 40 army supply. He's got 2-2 just about done. He will have an upgrade lead, and he is really just by paper cuts like he did. Well, I'm sorry, not like he did in the previous game, like Maru did against Ragnarok. He is just taking off a little piece here, taking off a little piece there, and Hero is just dying ever so slowly. Now, he's not done, not yet. He does have his fourth base up. He's on 65 probes, which honestly, I'd like to see 10 more at this point in the game. But he will have 3-2 rather soon. He does have Storm. He does have triple splash, right? Disruptors, Colossus, and Storm. So that's going to make it rather difficult for RYUNG to really fight on in. But RYUNG's army is getting massive. It is a 50 army supply lead. We got a big flank coming on in here from both sides. Colossus are going to get targeted on down immediately. There we go. That Colossus is dead. A Templar going down. Archon as well. EMP's knocked down most of the health of that one anyways. This base is forfeit. And once again, Hero, he does not want to be a 3-base Protoss player against a 4-base Terran. So he will try to take this fight. Disruptors are a scary thing that RYUNG is going to have to deal with. The splits are not going to be all that great, and that's going to be a lot better. But now we got the army flanking on in from behind. Disruptors, they're going to rally on in to their doom. And now we're just at that scary point where, yes, we do have RYUNG here. He is, or Hero, he does have some splash, but it's not going to be enough at the end of the day. It is 1 Disruptor that is going to make the difference here between victory and defeat. And I'm not convinced this 1 Disruptor shot is going to be enough. There we go. It's going to whiff in its entirety. The rally of RYUNG, one strong, unbroken line of blue on the left side of the map here, on the bottom side, coming on through. Once again, this fourth base will be broken. EMP is on top of the army. And RYUNG, he is just punching on slows. Now a 70 army supply lead. Hero only staying in because, well, it's win or go home. He does not want to go home here in this first season. Back on into the GSL. EMP is on top of the disruptors. They're going to get targeted on down. Hero, he's doing what he can, but unfortunately what he can is not good enough here. The force base is broken. The splash is dead. The splash is gone. And RYUNG stimming forward, stimming to victory in this game number 3. He has everything he needs to qualify for Code A. And this is actually RYUNG's first Code A in a while. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to Team GP.